I'll start it. At this time, Public Works will come in session with a joint session with Administration and Finance, and turn the meeting over to Vince Vitale.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay, Alderman Haas is here,
Yes.
May,
Here?
Isaac.
You pointed at me and called me May. Don't do that again.
Oh, I love to do that to you. I love to do that
I
to
am
you.
not.
May I do it once more?
So, we start up with, in regard, what is Joe Birch? Joe, you have anything new
Joe, you're
to
up.
bring forward to us?
Yes,
From the last meeting?
you got an email with the new information that you
Yes.
asked for. I took an in-depth look at the last 3 years' history of sanitary repairs that have been done and broke them down into two categories, the ones that happen in the road and the ones that happen in the yards. Big difference in the prices, so that's all figured in. So I put together the best case, average case, and worst case years, and it shows that the money that we have proposed for the fee covers that. So I also included a draft copy of the ordinance for your review. It's a very rough draft. I'll be going over it with Scott again. One round of comments so far, so it's got a ways to go. So, is there any more questions on this?
Any questions from any committee members?
Public Works, Alderman Chaplowski.
So now, just to clarify, this is going to be all residential, two families,
It can be up to a 3-family.
up to a 3-family.
And in a residential zone, that's still a residential use. So the sanitary lateral, they're all typical. So it'll be a 6-inch lateral, just like a single-family house.
And so they're the only ones going to have to pay the fee and can take the benefit. Right?
Yeah, just like a single-family. It'll be just, the single and the duplex and the 3-family will be all treated the same. 4-family is commercial, and above is commercial.
How about a residential that's running a business out of their home?
That would be a commercial use, so that wouldn't be included in this.
As proposed.
Right, that's the reason I'm proposing that is because we'd have to go look at every commercial site to see if it's a similar situation as a residential.
I say, like somebody runs a landscaping and snow plowing operation, but they run it out of their house. And is that a commercial? Is that?
I'm not sure that.
Probably not legal.
One of the chairmen,
Scott.
if I could. Yeah, if it's a home occupation permit, that's not a commercial use because it's still a residence. That's a primary use. They just have a
Okay.
home occupation permit through building inspection, and that wouldn't alter the residential use of the premises.
Okay.
But where it's a house that's in a commercial district and just a business is running, then, at least as he's
Right.
proposing now, that would be commercial, because it's the use that's being done. And the use that, in your example, is primarily residential, and so it would stay
Right.
residential.
Okay, thanks.
I'm gonna, just thinking out loud, brainstorming, as we say. I've brought this up in the past, I think maybe to a person or two, and it was brought up a little bit again tonight, is the thought maybe of possibly going to referendum with this. Any thought on that? And again, just brainstorming, to put it together in language and throw it on a referendum. And I mean, this decision is this is final. It's forever. This is not something that can be changed once this goes. And I thought of it many times, and it's whether or not we actually should make this decision or the citizens of the city should make it. Maybe possibly go to a referendum. Paul?
I just have one comment on the referendum. Obviously, you can do it, but you said once it's passed, it's there forever. You can always repeal an ordinance you pass in this regard. So it's good as long as you want to keep the ordinance in the book. You could, right, Scott, they could repeal it later or not?
Well, they could, but as I said in my
Okay.
legal opinion, it has some severe negative consequences if it's
If you
ever
do
done.
repeal it.
Right,
Okay, all
right. That's kind of what I meant is.
Yeah,
So
oh, go
I
ahead.
don't think we have to make that decision tonight, but I think everybody maybe just give it some thought and,
Well, as a suggestion, I think Joe is looking at starting the communication, the ads and whatnot there, and leading up to a public hearing. You can always see, I mean, if you obviously get a lot of groundswell up there that people are against this, then it might be, okay, we'll put up for a referendum and take it from there. But you might also get everybody calling that says, I really think this is good, and I want this. Well, then that's kind of your decision there too, you know, me for you.
Yeah, I do like the idea, but I want to hear from Scott, our city attorney. What's the legal process for the city in the future, Scott? I mean, what's the, the legal issue? What could occur? I mean, what would we could be responsible for any additional cost, that's.
5-page.
Well, I mean, I don't want to hold the 5 pages.
I don't want to summarize here. But I think essentially what it comes down to, and all I addressed in my opinion was the idea of a fee for lateral repair and or replacement. Now talking with Joe and Mike, they want to expand that into more of just an I&I, or expand it into more of an I&I fee to address any I&I on private property. So it would be lateral replacement, lateral repair, and sump pump installation where that's not there, and any other type of similar things that can be done to reduce I&I into the storm sewer, into the sanitary sewer. I think if it was set up that way originally and the fee was for that, again, the fee would be to any of those purposes that the fee is charged for, and that would still be legal. The legal consequences for the city, I think, are twofold. The one, as I already said, if you ever stop, then I paid this fee and you never did anything on my property, so it can't be a tax that you use to pay for something else. A fee means I got some direct benefit from it, so that would be a real problem. The other one is in terms of challenges. This is something brand new in the state. It's never been done. I gave you my opinion. It's, likely that this would be upheld. It's by no means a guarantee. If it's not upheld and it's determined to be an illegal tax, then the city has to repay that money to all the taxpayers, and you still have all those bills that you incurred, so you're gonna have to do something with that. So it's a risk from a legal standpoint in terms of you're taking a punch because you're gonna be leading the way on something that's never been done.
Any
When I look
questions?
at the case law that's out there, it seems like it fits as a public purpose to it. There's a fee that would not exceed our actual cost for the whole I&I reduction thing. We're subject to MMSD regulations. We've been sued by the DNR for I&I. Seems like a good public purpose, in other words, to address this. And so that all stacks up, but how does the Court of Appeals or State Supreme Court ultimately decide that? I don't know. There are other arguments on the other side. I'm not going to go into those because I don't think there'd be any bright ideas. But there are other arguments against this.
Yeah, they'll do their homework.
any other questions from any members of Public Works?
Administration and Finance.
Mr. Chair. Mr.
Alderman
Chair,
Ranky.
Are we going to put in place a number for each household? One time, lifetime, one time a year? I mean, are we thinking along that line as well? How many times can they ask for help?
Well, this would be, once a lateral is rehabilitated,
Right,
it's probably good for 100 years.
I see.
So if something went wrong with it, it would have been faulty work or something to that effect, or somebody damaged it somehow. But we're not covering blockages and things like that, so if somebody plugs up their sewer, they're still paying for that kind of thing. So,
And you're saying when something goes wrong, if something goes wrong, is the city responsible then?
Well, I guess it would depend on what went wrong. If it was faulty workmanship, which, by the way, the typical installation for rehabilitation, what we do is we usually line the pipe. So no digging, we send in like an epoxy soaked sock, and it hardens in place inside, and it becomes a new pipe inside the old one. We send a camera through it after it's done, so if it all looks good, it's good. One thing that can happen is it could collapse in there. That usually happens within the first year. For our contracts, we have a 1-year guarantee, so the contractor would have to go back and fix that.
So it's only guaranteed for 1 year.
Right, that's our typical
I see.
contract guarantee, yes.
But to expand on what you said, Rosalie, is if something did happen in 2 years, they're still paying that money, they'd get another lateral at that point. If something did happen with that particular one, that it did collapse 2 years later, and you'd have to. If they're still paying the fee,
That's what I wanted to know.
But I guess the likelihood is
is nil, right? But if it did happen, they would.
if it did, and if it became a problem, we'd certainly have to address that.
Yeah, you would dig it up and, yeah, or get a different contractor.
Any questions from the administration of finance?
This is being held, I take it?
Well, as was said, the next two steps is to start sending out information and then have the public hearing, as Mark said. That's the only consensus we need, is to take those next steps. No approval tonight.
Motion from the administration of finance?
Motion on that, or? No,
No,
just a
it's
consensus.
just
Kind of like
consensus.
nodding heads, we understand.
Any more? Meeting adjourned.
Public Works will stay in session.
If we can get the,
Number 9.
those other, the other 10 through 12, those are old communications. If you can place those on file.
Those on file, right? Okay.
Are those joint also?
Hold on 9 and 13.
Yeah. We're
Hold
holding
on 9
on.
and 13?
Yeah.
Place on file 10, 11, and 12.
I move 10, 11, and 12 be placed on file.
Second.
And I'll move for Public
Finance.
Carried.
Looking for a second for Public
Second.
Works, seconded by Rosalie Ranky. Administration and Finance first, Vince, if you would.
Yes.
All in favor?
All in favors?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And Public
Carried.
Works, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
So it's, wait till we're in our administration.
Thank you for joining us, Administration and Finance. It's always a pleasure.
Anytime.
Be like, aye. I was like,
Put those
really?
three out.
Yeah, sure.
Place on file.
Yeah.
So now this is in charge? Someone's all done voting?
With that, Public Works will continue, and we're looking at item number 27 on tonight's agenda, which is a resolution authorizing the Director of Public Works, City Engineer to temporarily close 109th, 110th, 111th, 111th Place, 112th along Theodore Trucker Way in 2014. This was done in the past, and I don't know if it's budgeted, but we had the money to be able to do it. Right now, it's still 109th only.
Move approval.
Moved by Alderman Weigel. Is there a second? Seconded by Alderman Ranky. Is there further discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Cruising.
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 I see.
We did it last year on 109th, and
Good idea.
extremely successful on 109th. I live on 110th, and I haven't had, maybe 2 people said, we're gonna close the road, and I go, as soon as somebody starts a petition. So, right now, it's only 109th again. Did you have a, Alderman?
No, you kind of explained it, that it did work.
Yeah, oh
What
yeah,
you did work, so
gosh, yes.
this will work 3 times better now, because there's 3 more streets, right?
Well, no.
No, we're only
Last-
authorizing it, but we're not implementing.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Last year, we authorized the same thing, because we felt if one went, the next one might, the next one might, the next one might. We did 109th,
Okay.
and it never really materialized. Now, 110th, we do get the traffic, and again, I do live on 110th, and we do get it, but it's still not as severe of what 109th got. We get it, but it's not as bad. And I think if we closed ours, my feeling is that 111th would even be less, and 111th Place would be, as it goes further,
Right.
the cruisers don't want to drive where it's dark. They want to be in the light, so look at my car,
Visible.
listen to my stereo. You were there, you remember. With that, number 27, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
I had the coolest car in third grade.
Remember, you're on TV.
I know.
Third grade.
Yeah.
Number 28 on tonight's agenda, resolution granting the privilege for encroachment, minor major, to new owner Audi Investments LLC for the property located at 2546 West Greenfield Avenue, tax key number, whatever.
Move approval.
Moved by Alderman Weigel, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Rote. Further discussion?
Just a
City
change of
engineer.
ownership.
Change of owners, yeah.
Change of ownership. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's it. Same thing, it's basically for that canopy.
Okay, thank you.
So every owner has to go through this?
Yes,
I
new
see.
ownership, yeah.
I see. Thank you.
Any further discussion on item number 28? With that, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 29, resolution to, moved by who did that? Alderman Chaplusky?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Weigel. Is there further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 30, resolution to approve the bid of Northern Pipe Equipment Incorporated for closed TV, circuit TV inspection of sanitary and storm sewers at various locations in the city of West Dallas, the amount of $99,962.90.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman
is this
Rowe.
the same company that's always been doing it? Or is it someone else? I thought it was someone from Green Bay
Visual
always.
Sewer.
Yeah, we've had them many times, they're very good.
This company?
Yeah, there's two companies out of Green Bay that are good.
Oh, they're both, okay.
Does this cover the whole city?
No, it's about an eighth of the city.
Pardon me?
About 1/8 of the city.
Only one?
That's 1 year's worth of work, though.
1 year's, yeah.
Okay,
We do it on a cycle of 8 years around the city.
I see. Move for approval.
Moved by Alderman Ranky,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Rote. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 31, resolution authorizing the Director of Public Works City Engineer to pay for additional WinSlam analyst in the amount not to exceed $1,400.
Move approval.
Moved by Alderman Weigel.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Rote. Further discussion? Alderman Rote.
What's WinSlam?
It's, which one?
It's a modeling software that we have
Oh.
to measure our quality of our stormwater. It's required by the DNR every 5 years. We're required to be at a 20% removal of suspended solids right now. And,
In the storm?
On our 2008 run of this, we were at 5%, so we were far from meeting the requirement.
Okay.
We hired AECom, who ran the last one. They ran the model, but we found a glitch in the data. So we corrected that, and they had to run it a second time, so that's what the extra is.
I was wondering, what were we getting for $1,400? It's just
I didn't know.
rerunning data one more time.
Rerunning it
Yeah.
with the correct data, and now we're at a 23% removal rate, so we are clean.
So it's actually worth it.
Thanks.
We're good for now.
On their first run, it came up to
Is this-
12%.
Is this improvement because of our new street sweeping techniques and all sorts of other, and rain barrels? I mean, is it a cumulative thing, or?
It's an improvement because the data that they ran the last time, they just took our database from our GIS, which our catch basins have an attribute in them. It says yes or no, it has a sump. Ours say, most of them say no because it was never filled in. They assume that to be no. And actually, the 99% of them have sumps.
Okay,
And that was the difference. We got almost doubled our cleaning rate.
okay. So this isn't based on actual tests? This is some sort of model based
It's a
on
model, right?
impervious surfaces and,
Yeah,
All sorts of
based
stuff,
on
yeah.
the land use
Yeah.
and all that. The first initial run of the model was 16,000 something, and so this additional one
Right.
time was.
someone went through and checked,
$1,400.
made a bunch of no's, yeses, and they ran it through again. Okay.
Any further discussion on item number 31? It's been moved by Alderman Weigel, seconded by Alderman Rote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 32 on tonight's agenda, resolution authorizing the Director of Public Works City Engineer to enter in a letter of agreement between Wisconsin.
Second.
Moved by Alderman, was that Weigel?
No.
Chaplusky.
Chaplusky.
Moved by Alderman Chaplusky, seconded by Alderman Ranky. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Alderman Rote.
what is it?
It's DOT, because of the zoo interchange, is installing all new
No, I-
lights, all new traffic lights in the various locations, basically up and down National Avenue there for us. And I believe it'll also be actuated by the fire department when they come flying up and down. Just same exact thing as we had on Highway 100 in Lapham. So it's basically a gift to upgrade our traffic signals at those intersections.
But they're controlling them.
No,
They are in control.
no, they're not in this, these things should still be, they're putting it in and they're giving us the training and that, but these lights, continued training of these lights should be under our control. It's completely different from Highway 100,
Okay.
which Highway 100 is a state highway, so they own it and do it,
Own and operate.
operate it there.
National Avenue's a state highway too, isn't it?
It should
I
be
think until it
responsible,
comes
yeah.
to the city limits, we went through this.
No, it's not anymore.
Not
anymore.
anymore.
It used to be Highway 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing, the resolution doesn't say anything in here regarding that we basically give them ownership.
59.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're just giving us the equipment technology.
Okay.
Any further discussion on item number 32? Moved by Alderman Chaplusky, seconded by Alderman Ranky. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 33, resolution approving a purchase and sales agreement for the McKinley Park property by and between the City of West Dallas and the School District of West Dallas, West Milwaukee.
Been waiting for this for a while. The school district will take over operation of the McKinley Field Park. They have their recreational programs and that over there. They'll get the city out of paying for everything from cleanup to, toilet paper. If for some reason the school district wants to sell it, the agreement should state that the city's got first rights. We're selling it for $1 and we get the right to buy it back at $1. So I've been, with John's help, very much help in trying to work on this for quite some time.
Move to approve.
Moved by Alderman Ranky, seconded by
Rote, second.
Alderman Rote. Further discussion?
Was, Mr. Chairman,
Alderman
was that
Chaplusky.
in there?
Yes,
What?
the right of first refusal on
Yeah.
purchase?
Right,
That was,
What-
okay,
for $1.
okay.
No, if I said that
'Cause-
wrong,
'cause-
I
well, you said-
read it tonight.
Okay, you said that
But
should
I-
be in there,
Well,
so,
I read it quick before, but that's what we're always talking about
Right.
during all this with the city attorney and John and I.
yeah, it probably will never happen, but,
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried. Number 34, resolution authorizing a lease agreement between by the City of
move
West
for
Dallas.
approval.
Moved by
Second.
Alderman Chaplusky, seconded by Alderman Weigel. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. 35, resolution authorizing a lease agreement between the
Move
City of
for
West Dallas and
approval.
Lit.
Second.
Moved, who was that? Was that Chaplusky again?
Chaplusky.
And seconded by
I wasn't
Alderman
here.
Ranky. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, carried. With that, that concludes, what's this? Oh, that's yours. That concludes Public Works, and we'll now close Public Works and turn the meeting over to Mickey Chaplusky, Chairman of License and Health.
So meeting to order.
And thank you for your support.
We're waiting for Kevin, I know.
Yes, we wait for Kevin? We have a new member.
How far? Well, I'm gonna
Good thing
kind
you're
of wait for Scott. There's a lot of things, Scott. First of all, let's see, Las Palmas is not gonna be here.
Correct.
They asked for, I don't know if you saw
No,
that.
so no closed session.
So there's gonna be no closed session, and
That takes
we won't
care
be
of half
doing anything.
Ted Dorinda is
Exciting.
going to be here either.
And Ted from, did everybody get the letter?
Right.
Ted Atkinson is
Did you get the
here
letter
today.
from Ted? Everybody, or just me? Did you send it to everybody?
No, I just emailed you today. I just got it today.
Same stuff as before. Couldn't make it. You know,
I had an
I'm doing
appointment.
everything.
I'm too
And so,
busy.
but this is it. This is it with this guy.
I like to hear
No,
Ted.
he
That's not
does
even
it.
on Staskunis's letterhead?
he does
this
it
is on
again.
Dorinda's?
He does it again. He can't do it. He misses again, then we go to yank his license and shut him down.
And
Because Ted says he still has got violations. It's the same thing as before.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ted
Yeah,
gave an
nothing's
extension
changed.
till May 1st.
Oh, is Ted here? I'd like to hear his side.
He is here, we can continue with the, and then go back to it.
Says, I intend to comply with all orders by this date, referring to May 1st, subject to weather
Yeah,
conditions,
see how far- Oh, here he is.
which has been the
Okay.
main problem, which forced the extension to begin with. What, 4-year extension?
Right there? All right.
Because then you're on TV.
Okay.
This portion in this room is televised.
Yeah.
Okay,
Watch your language.
And recorded
my
for
nose.
posterity.
okay, then,
Exactly.
Yeah.
let's call Christopher Briscoe. Christopher,
Who is here?
My name's Eric Stan.
yeah, he's coming
Eric's
up.
the only other
Why
guy.
don't we just take care
He's
of
on the
him
other
right away?
side. Right, well, Briscoe's not here, so we're just gonna hold it then? That was for the beer license for the batting place
Yeah, Mr. Chair,
in your district.
Yeah, I know.
Mr. Chair,
Oh,
I'm confused. They think that they get a Class
is new.
B license, and that allows patrons to bring beer onto their licensed premises?
is that what they said?
That's what I gathered from what I read.
He has to amend his paperwork to take that part out. He cannot do a BYOB.
No, there's no such thing as a licensed BYOB in Wisconsin.
Yeah, let's hold that, make sure that he comes in.
Okay, so.
If he gets a Class B, he has to follow all the rules that every other licensee follows.
Just like a buyer.
He buys from a wholesaler, he has licensed bartender on premises, checks IDs and all that. There's no BYOB for his soccer players or whatever.
Okay. So we're gonna hold that one. Eric Stan, come on, have a seat.
Yeah,
Okay.
strikers.
Application, this is a
Mr. Chair?
new application. Alderman Weigel.
Mr. Stan, you didn't put down where you thought you were gonna be working, do you have an idea?
Oh, I'm working at Applebee's. I've been
Okay.
working there for the past 3 years.
Okay, so you've been working as a bartender when someone else is there?
No,
or
I've
you've
been a server.
Okay.
The reason why I need a bartender's license is to get into management. I wouldn't even be a bartender, just all managers need a bartender license.
Okay. Now, we have a question on here about your background, ticketed, arrested, convicted. And it says ever ticketed, arrested, convicted, or fined of federal, state, or city laws. And you wrote down, don't remember exact wording,
Yeah,
Oak Creek, over 3 years ago.
correct.
So what were the kinds of things that you were,
Basically, I was, to put it bluntly and put it out there, I was growing my own marijuana for my personal use.
and these were convictions?
Yes.
Yeah, because when your record comes back, you also have, quite some time ago, injury, intoxicated use of a vehicle, felony. Injury, negligent use of a vehicle, felony, same incident probably, right? Same
Correct.
dates.
That was roughly.
And then manufactured THC felony in 10, and then another one in 11. That could be the same incident, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But, given felony, manufacture, deliver illegal drugs, and your felony, that alone there is enough for me to move for denial based on your record, so.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Was that official?
You made a
Most
motion?
move to deny.
Based on the record, same thing, yeah, second.
Okay, do we have any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? 5-0, get the right 5-0 there. Sorry.
Okay, now I asked this like 2 years ago when I applied before, like, is this gonna be for like 3 months? Like, they told me I would have to wait like a year and I waited over like 2 years. So I was wondering when would I be able to reapply?
Well, understand, Mr. Chair, if I could?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This committee is made up of 5 individuals who represent our various districts. And we don't have any kind of hard and fast rule as far as, after 2 years, I'll forget about a felony drug conviction thing. I don't know who told you that. It might have been a member of this committee or not. I'm not sure. I've been on this committee since our current mayor's been seated, so I've been on a couple of years. I know I've never said that to anybody.
Okay.
You know, I probably would not encourage you to reapply in West Dallas for a license.
Okay.
If it was my $45, you know, I certainly can't speak for what the rest of the committee may do in the future, you know, but
Okay.
that's just that's my 2 cents worth.
Okay.
One of 5 voices.
And do I just lose that money that I?
Yeah, because up here where it says non-refundable,
Okay.
that's what that means.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Okay.
okay, then we have that's it for public, that's it for appearances. Well, you're here, Scott. We started talking about this Ted from the.
Ted Dorinda?
Oh, that's right, we were gonna ask Scott.
Ted
Ted Atkinson in here. Can you see if he's out there? Ted's out there. Now, this guy already starting the same crap he did before?
It
You know?
seems like a pattern, yeah.
And so this time, you know, obviously because it was tonight, we just got the email today, but if he doesn't show up again, just go for revocation of his
You can-
license.
Whenever you get fed up with him continually saying he can't.
I'm
go,
already
you
fed
can
up with
move-
him.
You
We
can
just
move for
started.
a license or summons a complaint to be issued, and we can do that.
Can we do that right now?
Can we
start that right
You can do
now?
that right now, yeah, if you're fed
Well,
up now.
let's hear from
Comments and complaint.
Let's hear
If
from
we
Ted
follow the
first.
last pattern, there was so much delay before he finally
Yes.
did what he was supposed to, that, I mean, it seems like it wouldn't hurt to move things along on this end.
Okay.
Can you fill me in?
Get compliant.
Guess I can pull those back up.
This is a mobile home park, and I don't know how many years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago, there were a bunch of plumbing violations, and in addition to taking him to municipal court,
Hey, Ted,
the committee eventually got fed up with him not showing up and not complying, and we issued a summons complaint, and eventually, he complied.
okay.
Now there are electrical violations.
It's actually, I believe, in your district.
Yeah, it is. On
It
the
is,
south
it's-
side of Greenfield Avenue.
Used to be, and it was over here, and then it was over there.
So,
Actually, I
Ted-
don't know if that one was ever in mine. As soon as you got on the other side of the bridge, that was in
Okay.
mine, but.
Ted, you saw the email from him, from Dorinda. How accurate is it? What has he got to do still? Is he working with you? I know you gave him an extension of time, but is he getting it done? Does he have permits taken off? Does he?
I did a drive-through of the park today. He's working on it, I can see. He asked for an extension of time, and we gave it to him, and he asked for May 1st. I'm going May 1st. Good luck with that. That's 2 weeks from now. He asked for it 2 weeks ago, and I'm going in a month. You think you can do this? Oh, yeah. Whatever you ask for. I don't know that he's gonna have everything done, can he? Most of it is just minor repairs to mobile homes, the outdoors, the cleanup, the cut down some trees that are leaning against the trailers
So
themselves.
it's not all electrical.
No,
No.
I heard Scott say electrical. In fact, there's no electrical in this.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
was my understanding.
Yeah, there's, in fact, there's a catch-all plumbing in here, because that's
Last
what.
one electrical?
You know, the last one was all plumbing.
Plumbing, okay, got that
Pretty
part
much,
right.
yeah. And it did include some electrical and a sump pump, that big commercial that he was supposed to do electrical, so there was electrical in that. We constantly have complaints from the tenants regarding plumbing, and in fact, in the current orders, it says make all the tenants' plumbing correct as necessary. But a lot of them are just the type of residents that plug up their own system. They're supposed to, and he says they're supposed to get their own plumber to clean it out. We have followed up on some where it was his, it's plugged in the main. And so that's a constant going on there. But all we can say is he didn't show up now. I would have liked him to be here, because I'm especially exasperated with the last go-around that we did.
Right.
How many times did you schedule him? He didn't show up. Actually, we had him in municipal court. In fact, he was fined $37,000 because he didn't show up, and there was numerous court times that he didn't show up. Finally, he gets an attorney and has to have that reopened. That attorney just so happened to be attorney Staskunas, which Judge Murphy had a problem with, so we had to schedule it in another community, and we're going down that road to get another judge and do all of that, and finally we had an agreement. Then he ended up with $5,000 fine for all of those activities, and we did approve all of the years of licensing that we had held for the plumbing. The plumbing was needed to fix this, fix that, the underground, the mains, the private mains, and he fixed finally all of that. Now we're on to, we sent the building inspector with a pretty good fine-tooth comb and went through that whole part, and we wrote it all up again for this license here. He never got a hold of us until after the order date. I wrote you a communication saying, hey, he doesn't have a license, only for him to come in like a week later and say, well, can I get an extension? Yeah, I'll give you an extension, but I already wrote the letter.
Okay, do you have a motion?
Well, I made the motion, but I think it's wrong, not for summons and complaint, it's revocation.
Well, someone's complained to begin the process.
Yeah, I made that motion before Ted came in.
I'll second that.
Okay, we got someone's complaint, Alderman Rote, Alderman Weigel, second. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel.
is he waiting for our I&I process to go in place so he gets all new plumbing? And would this kind of work qualify under our I&I program?
Good point. I think it's a commercial, but we do garbage pickup, I believe. There is city pickup.
Is it?
They do get their water from us, but you'd have to ask. And
Right.
But a very good point.
Would this qualify under our I&I program?
Good point. We do have 5 mobile home parks. If I may, on your understanding of what you're doing, it is my understanding that if you take away his license, that's fine.
Comes with certain problems.
I
think we understand that.
Okay. You're aware without me winking?
Well, yeah.
Well, no, the problems are, if I could, Mr. Chair, that these would then become displaced people under state relocation law, and we would be responsible for finding someplace for them to go. If governmental action was the result of them not being able to live there.
My twins are away at college.
You're looking at, thousands of dollars.
Right.
I got an empty bedroom.
Okay.
So and as we get there, that's fine.
Okay.
Awesome
Is there
responsibility.
is there any further discussion? All in favor for summons and complaint?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
If you start now, it may be December, and we'll get it done.
But then the weather will be bad again.
He won't be able to show up
Can't
again.
do it now. Weather's bad.
Are you asking for him to show up to the next meeting?
He has to, he's go to summons and
And that first
complaint.
guy.
Yeah, he's gonna have to get served.
Gotta answer it.
So all we got is this matter we denied. Okay, then we have number 49, tonight's agenda. Used car, do
Move approval, subject to the usuals.
I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Anybody opposed? Then we have number 50. Well, I tell you, let's take 50 and, we better take 50 first.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
If we could, I think I might have a suggested solution for this.
Okay.
I'd move approval for both, but I would, do I have to wait for a second?
Well, yeah, you do. That's why I'd rather take them one at a time.
Okay.
Let's take them one at a
I'll
time.
move approval on 50.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second. Hang on.
Okay.
Hang
A second.
Hang on.
Any further discussion on this one?
Okay, well,
I told you, hang on. Because I can't find it.
Oh,
this is the
That's
same.
why I'm trying to figure out.
yeah,
50.
you're right.
This is the
I was
same.
into the other
that-
agenda.
That this licensee did last year.
Got it.
And so they, during à la carte, they essentially run a beer tent with volunteers, and then proceeds go to support the Christmas parade.
Right.
Okay. And this one is on the south side of Greenfield on 72nd Street. And now if I can talk about 51 in the same breath,
Well,
and if I remember correctly.
I don't think you can, but.
Okay.
But, we allowed this last year.
Yes.
This still is an extension of premises, even though it's, what, one door down or something?
Well, we do,
way
the-
down.
if I understand correctly, the extension of premises
One door.
is we essentially draw a line on the map and it gets skinnier in some places, it gets wider in others? Is that what we do for extension? Or do we have, the extension has to be contiguous with the license?
Yeah, it has to be
tract?
contiguous with it,
Okay.
or either on their own property, contiguous with their property, or contiguous with public right-of-way.
Right, so,
So-
and my point is,
There'd be public right away.
yes, it's public right of way. And if this can be a contiguous extension to this one location, why couldn't the other location essentially just be another balloon off of this and be contiguous? You see, either way, it still has to be contiguous. I'm not understanding why it has to be a separate application. Why it's a separate, essentially, they're gonna be operating two bars.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? You
Tell
understand what
them
I'm
why,
saying?
Scott.
Well, I mean, if you want to have the salamander
Yeah.
type contiguous thing
Yeah.
to, in shape to get to it, you could. You can't, under our ordinance, have the isolated, out in the middle of the street
Right.
tent. Monica thought that we had done this a number of years ago with somebody, but if it was, it's contrary to our ordinance. So I think there would be two choices you could make. One, you could do the gerrymandering type thing and draw the big thing, and then it would just be one application, and you could return his other and just license that one whole big premises. Or the other one is to change the ordinance, and if you want to just have these freestanding tents and get rid of the contiguous requirement.
Yeah, I guess you're right. What's the point of the
Yeah.
contiguous side of it if we're finding a way around
Right.
it?
Why,
Now-
why go through all those?
Now, I guess my other question is the second location isn't on city property though? The second location is gonna be in that little park-like piece between Urban Joe's. It's probably on B. Mo Harris's property, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be contrary to the ordinance completely, if it's not on his property or on public property.
Public
right?
property.
Because let's see. Where was that? Okay, here we
They're
go.
trying to get closer to where the
The
stage
area
would be.
which the licensee wishes to include in any temporary extension of the
Can I
licensed
speak on
premises
it?
must be contiguous to the licensed premise
Agent.
and must either be owned by or under the control of the licensee or extend into or encroach upon the public property or public thoroughfares. So somebody else's private property wouldn't fit our ordinance.
I would think no, Gary. As far as discussion.
Would you?
Yeah, I don't know, it's got, can he do?
What's question?
Can I discuss it?
If you're going to recuse yourself, you shouldn't discuss.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, but again, this is your brother.
correct.
You're recusing yourself just on your own. There would be nothing in the, unless your
No,
brother
I'm
supports
my
you
own.
50% or you support your brother 50%. You're not in violation of the ethics code. It's just the appearance of impropriety, so you're going to recuse yourself.
Right.
If you do that, then I would recuse myself from
Very
discussion,
good.
voting, the whole
Yep.
9 yards, yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Okay.
the state of the ordinance will not allow this location on BMO Harris's property.
Right, and then, given that, what I would recommend is act on 50, and then if you want to change, this is June 1st, you would still have time to change the ordinance
Right.
and eliminate those conditions.
So who would be able to get it then? A tent? Anybody?
Yeah, well, anybody who has a
Anybody who has
license.
a
premise,
license.
So
you
that
still
w-
have to have a license, yeah.
You'd still have to have the Class B license.
And this would allow then, and if we, so we get rid of the contiguous part and the private property.
Private property part.
So I could, someone with a license could essentially have a party at a car dealer if the car dealer was in favor of it.
Right.
And if we approved it.
If you approved it, right.
Is that something that we see done in other communities? I'm not sure.
Now, this part I should be able to discuss.
Just general.
Because it's
Yeah.
general.
Yeah.
Right.
What I would, if that comes about, and you're gonna vote on one, not the other, what I would say is just like we did with Urban Joe's, only in the bid district. And that eliminates the rest of the city. This only can happen in the bid district. So we don't have
Yeah, you gotta have them all over.
Kips in going across the street to the trailer park and wanting to serve beer at the trailer
Or
park.
Joe's Bait Shop or.
Right, or yeah, what's that called? Bob's Bait Shop. And so it's a grand opening of Bob's Bait Shop for fishing, and Kips is gonna go over there and set up a beer tent. If we say we only allow this in the bid district, then it kind of solves the problem of,
And we can do that.
Then we could do that. It's only in the C1.
Well, it's a bit different from granting a license over quota and limiting it to certain areas, but I think, arguably, it's the same sort of justification that we have, and so if one flies, the other one will. If one
And if
doesn't
the-
fly, the other one won't.
And if someone takes it to court on it, then go to court on it.
Right.
And
You have to
and
change
it would be
it.
good for the bid, because there's other functions throughout the year that this may come into play.
Okay, so we have a,
Swords and dreams.
so we have
We have to have
a,
our
we have a motion and a second for number 50 granting the, extension of premises
Well, number 50, yeah.
on number 50, right. Do we have further discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody
Present.
opposed? 4, 0, 1. Oh, present.
And 51 just going to be held.
Right,
Yeah,
51 we're gonna hold. And then,
And I'm gonna,
You gonna-
I'll send an email out to you about drafting a change.
okay.
So we can get that done.
Okay, then we have number 52. Do I have a motion?
Move approval, subject to necessary conditions.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Give it a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And then we have the Bible police report,
We're reading for the week.
number 53.
Move for approval.
No, this is motion placed on file.
Move placed on file.
He set you up.
I set him up.
Yeah.
Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Any
It's
further
right here,
discussion?
too. I read it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? And then we have number 71. This was on the public hearing, request for outdoor extension of premises. The only problem I have with this, I haven't been there, but I hear it's a very nice place and everything. The only problem I have with this is the police report
That we just got.
that we just got. Which the two sons, which work at the bar, got in a fight with each other, and the police had to be called.
Let's just hold this.
And so this is like the, I mean, we're gonna have to watch, especially it's in your district, we're gonna watch, we're making noise and doing all this stuff, and is it okay for them to box out in the backyard? I don't know, I mean, so I don't know, I kinda like to think to hold it also until
Mr.
we
Chairman?
call them in.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
There are multiple problems. Number one, this thing sits right next to a residential house. And I know when we started out with this, with these decks.
Right.
And, we had all kinds of conditions and then, it just got carried away. And I'm not gonna support it, just because of how it's located, et cetera. I still think this is just wrong. But I think that it is best to hold it for now. And let's go through that police report and put maybe a little bit of
Okay.
fear.
Mr. Chair.
Alderman Wagham?
I think we all got the letter of support from the neighbor.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up.
And I spoke to her today. And if you notice in that letter of support, it did not have a time constraint in it. And when I spoke to her, I said, well, we've been doing these at 10, 11, and midnight typically, depending on the situation. And the neighbor I spoke to said that she'd be, at 10 o'clock, that she'd be okay with. She thinks Craig's an asset to the neighborhood, Now, she's a tenant there, she's not the property owner. Not having spoken to the property owner, Nick Anton, he's a known person in the community and the business. I don't know what his feelings are on it, but I think it's certainly gonna impact that, but the current tenant supports it.
I had a train of thought. Oh, the thing with the decks is, with the time, that's for drinking.
Yes.
People can still go out there
Smoke.
at midnight, 1 a.m. and smoke, and like I said, this is where
Well, I think people could probably go out there right now.
they can go out front.
It's not very attractive right
They can go
now.
back
right.
to,
Yeah.
so it's just, thanks to state for that.
Right now, the state law is that you can just designate any area as a smoking area.
Correct. Yeah, you
Can't-
go out
we can't-
Holding more than
Can't
40.
stop it.
Can't stop it.
Okay, there was the other thing, my special notes here, proof of insurance during a community event. That's required by, going back to the off-premise.
Yeah, there's a requirement of insurance.
Okay, just so everybody knows. I just
Yeah,
read
subject to
that
the usual
now.
conditions.
Yeah.
It's 300,000.
Okay.
The city is an additional insured and all of that happy stuff.
And I don't think we had Scott here, we were talking about that original one about strikers. Did you read that application about this sports facility? I don't remember what item number it was. There's an application in for a beer only license.
63.
They were thinking that if they got a Class B beer only for this indoor sports facility, that would allow their athletes to bring beer onto the premise. And if I'm correct, that's not correct.
Yeah, BYO was not allowed.
Yeah, and there's no license, there's no way
For that, right?
there's under no circumstances is BYO allowed.
Yeah, for them to do that, they can't do that under state law. The concept of them wanting to, this originally came up that they wanted to just allow this without a license. You can't do that either at a
Right.
commercial establishment. You have to have a license if you're gonna have alcohol being served at a sports facility like this. So they don't really fit in anywhere very well. Their concept just isn't allowed in the state. So if they want a license, if they want alcohol, they're gonna have to be licensed and follow those rules, which don't allow for bring your own booze.
Right, and
Or
if
beer, whatever the case may
if
be.
they were granted a B, because it's a sports facility, there wouldn't be all these restrictions about minors on the premises and all that, right?
Correct, right. It's just like hotels and bowling alleys,
Yeah.
they're exempt from that kind of stuff.
And nothing would require the beverage, the alcohol served there, they'd have to buy from a licensed wholesaler.
Right.
But they could build that into the price for renting a field or something, how they actually sell it.
How they charge is.
How they
gonna
charge would be up to
yeah.
them.
Mr. Chair,
On road.
in regards to 53, seems that we're talking about it,
Okay.
I'd like all you guys to go to their website and look at their
53?
policies and rules. Oh, I'm sorry, whatever with the strikers.
Strikers.
I have the wrong
Okay.
thing, I apologize.
63.
I'm always
53
kind
police report. 63, that's strikers.
Do we have to go, or are you gonna fill us in?
Well, it's kind of like a self-serve place where there's not someone there all the time. If you're the last one in, lock up. If there's nobody there, they give you a code.
No, that won't work.
Yeah, that won't work for a Class B.
Well, no, I mean, that's why I'm encouraging all you guys to read this. And it's open 24 hours.
Okay,
That was
that's-
approved for 24 hours?
That's their website?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll have to do
Did we approve 24 hours there?
I don't know.
It's almost like one of those fitness clubs where you go and
Yeah,
you swipe.
yeah.
That's what this is. I mean, I was there
I sure
today.
don't recall approving 24 hours.
I don't recall that
Well,
either.
We'll have to.
Okay,
I
we'll
don't
talk.
know.
Definitely.
Yeah, you did. I don't recall. Okay, is there anything further?
Pardon me?
Move to adjourn?
Yeah.
Second.
I'll be calling tomorrow to see what the
Oh,
special
good.
issue says.
Call them in.
Yeah, it's just like if you're the
Craig's
last one
in.
there, don't lock it.
Call them in also.
I'll rent it.
Whole site.
This is always-